Well, it took the Riptide until the 8th inning to get the job done in last night's affair. But a big RBI single from Slater Nunez gave Orange County a gritty 3-2 win over the San Diego Waves. Today, the Riptide play the Philippines Baseball Group for the second meeting between these two ball clubs. It's Julian Orozco on the mound. Noah Rodriguez leads things off against Orozco. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Able to get the stream up now. Avi Singh alongside Sam Evans with you guys for this one, as Orozco gets things started against Noah Rodriguez. Lineups and defense in just a second. First pitch is a swing and a miss from Rodriguez. First strike one. Rodriguez leads things off. Braden Solis bats second. Austin Bash bats third. Dylan Tagiam in the cleanup spot. Micah Tagiam bats fifth. We'll get you the lineup after this pitch. Chopped on out past the glove of Nunez over at third for a leadoff base hit for Noah Rodriguez. So Rodriguez is aboard on a leadoff single. That'll bring up Solis. 6, 7, and 8 for the Philippines. Caden Lewis, Johnny Reister, Hector Pina, and Kai Nagashima, the newest member of the Philippines baseball group, rounds out the lineup. Defense for the Riptide: Tatum Marsh in left, Hunter Harrington in center, Thomas Cernius in right, Nunez at third, Brock Folds at shortstop for the second straight game, Travis Curry at second, Alonzo Reyes at first, and Noah Neufeld does the catching for Julian Orozco, who works from the stretch. He misses outside and high with a fastball on the first offering to Braden Solis. So, Sam, a quick start here for the Philippines with the leadoff single.
Yeah, big start early for the Philippines, who are worst in the CCL in batting average. So, unusual for them to have an early base hit. They'll look to jump on the board here.
1-0 taken outside for a strike. Solis, the Philippines' third baseman, who was 0 for 5 in last night's loss to the Conejo Oaks. Out of L.A. Pierce College, like most of this Philippine squad. The nod, the 1-1. Chopped back foul, it's a 1-2 count.
Philippines are coached by Will Pickett, son of Bill Pickett, who's the head coach for the L.A. Pierce Community College baseball team. Both Will and Bill are in the dugout for the Philippines today, so a bit of a father-son operation, and a lot of carryover from their collegiate team that comes here and plays in the CCL for the Philippines.
Orozco looks for the out with a 1-2 count. As Selly steps out of the box for a moment, takes his time, and gets back in. Julian Orozco out for his fifth appearance, fourth start as a member of the Riptide this summer, out of Cal Baptist. 1-2, low and outside. Orozco's been great all year, just an 0.75 ERA in those 4 appearances through 11 innings of work. Just 1 run given up all year. He throws over to first and checks Rodriguez.
Orozco's last outing a week ago against the Bombers here at the Great Park. He went 3 innings, gave up an unearned run, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts against San Diego. This ball smacked in the air out towards left field. Marsh camps under it, as does Harrington. The center fielder, Harrington, makes the catch for the first out of the ball game. So productive out there for the Riptide defense as they stop Rodriguez from advancing to second. Second meeting of the year between these two teams. First was back on Sunday. Philippines were very aggressive on the base pass when they did get runners on, especially early in the innings. See if Rodriguez, who so far this summer is 4 for 4 on stolen bases, thinks about running here on Orozco. Well, the DH, Austin Bash, up to hit. First offering, Rodriguez does take off. Pitch gets away from Neufeld, low and outside. It's a stolen base for Noah Rodriguez. He's in scoring position with 1 out as the Philippines look to strike early here in the first inning. Got a good jump, hit a good pitch to run on in the dirt. Neufeld not able to handle it cleanly and easily able to steal the bag. So Bash works with a 1-0 count and a runner on second. He takes a strike outside on a breaking ball for an even count. Austin Bash out of NYU, so up from Calabasas, California. Not too far away, up in Ventura.
playing with the Philippines instead of the local Conejo Oaks. 1-1. Chopped out towards second, a two-bouncer. It falls into the glove of Curry. Throw to first. In time for the second out, but the first run of the game 90 feet away for the Philippines.
Nice job there from Rodriguez, recognizing that ball. Hit to the right side, able to easily advance. 2 outs here, though, so if you're Orozco, just try and block out the fact that Rodriguez is even there. Trust Neufeld behind the plate to block the baseball if you put one in the dirt, and go after Tagiam, who's hitting just 100 in 6 games this summer.
So here is the catcher, Tagiam. He struggled early, as Sam mentioned, the 100 average. And he takes low and outside to begin his at-bat. Just 1 hit on the season for Tagiam.
This is Dylan Tagiam, his brother Micah on deck playing first base. So pair of Tagiams in the lineup here for the Philippines.
We saw both on Sunday. It was Micah who started. Dylan came in as a pinch hitter and stayed in the game defensively. He took a strike inside to even up the count at 1.
Second time that we've seen Orozco in a 1-0 count drop an off-speed pitch onto the inside part of the plate, having a lot of confidence in his slow stuff so far.
1-1 offering. Check swing, appeal to third. And home plate umpire Craig Burt himself calls it a strike, so it's a 1-2 count. Burt behind the dish. Frank Pflugrad over at first, Heath Jones at third, the umpiring crew for tonight's contest. Orozco 1 pitch away from stranding the runner 90 feet. Here it is. Smacked out towards the Philippines bullpen, foul. Tagiam from the Masters University up in Santa Clarita. 263 in 16 games this past season. That was good enough for 10 hits. 8 RBIs up at the Masters. Just 1 on the season. He looks for his second with Rodriguez over at third. Here's the 1-2. Tried to paint the corner outside, unable to get the call.
Orozco's maybe gotten a little bit of a friendlier zone on the inside part of the plate to these righties. Outside, not so much. Maybe you have to go inside here on Tagiam if you want to get strike 3.
Let's see where he goes with the 2-2 pitch. Outside once again, he misses low and the count's full.
First base open here. Not much of a reason to pitch to Tagiam if you don't feel super confident. Tagiam's got 3 strikeouts in 6 games this summer. See if he can lay off 1 outside the zone.
He's worked just 2 walks all season. An opportunity for 1 here with a full count. Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for Julian Orozco to end the inning, and strand Noah Rodriguez at third. So no runs come across for the Philippines. Orange County bats first when we come back on the Riptide TV network. Bottom of the first, no score on this Wednesday night. Avi Singh with you alongside Sam Evans. Orange County comes up to bat for the first time tonight. Here's the lineup selected by manager Brian Evans. Brock Folds, the newest member of the Riptide, at shortstop leads things off. Nate Pone in the DH spot bats second. Another new member in Alonzo Reyes plays first and bats third. Tatum Marsh in the cleanup spot. He's in left field today. Noah Neufeld, who's catching for Julian Orozco, bats fifth. Thomas Cernius, good to see him back in the lineup after he missed some time with a jammed thumb, He's in the 6th spot today, playing right. Travis Curry at second, bats 7th. Slater Nunez in the lineup once again at third. He bats 8th. He was the hero in last night's game against the Waves, and Hunter Harrington in center field rounds things off in the 9th spot. Defense today for the visiting Philippines baseball group, Hector Pina in left, Noah Rodriguez in center, Caden Lewis in right. Braden Solis at third, Kai Nagashima, the newest member of this Philippines squad at short, makes his debut. Ajani Reister at second base, Micah Tagiam at first, and brother Dylan does the catching for the Philippines starter, out for his 3rd start of the year. It's the lefty Julian Haim.
Haim's given up a 6.75 ERA in 8 innings so far this summer.
He starts his day off with a fastball outside for ball 1 to Brock Folds. Folds in his Riptide debut last night was 0 for 4. Had an RBI in that 2 spot the Riptide put up to tie the game in the bottom of the 5th. He takes outside once again for a 2-0 count. Pitch from Haim is right down Broadway for strike 1. Haim pitched last on the 23rd against the Conejo Oaks up in Ventura. As he misses outside for the 3-1 count. 3 innings of work up at Ventura College. 5 hits, 5 runs, only 4 earned. 3 walks and a strikeout in Julius Haim's last start. 3-1 to Folds. Misses inside for ball 4. A leadoff walk for Brock Folds. He reaches base, and now in the game, both teams with a leadoff hitter reaching safely.
Nice job there from Folds being patient. Now you got Nate Pone at the plate. Pone last played on Sunday against this Philippines team. Went 2 for 3, also walked in that game. Wants to keep his hot streak going here today.
Here is the speedy catcher, Nate Pone. He's in the DH spot today for Brian Evans' Riptide squad. First pitch to him, he shows bunt and chops it back foul. Pone tries to use his speed to his advantage there, was unable to put the ball in play.
I like the idea there, especially early in the count if you're Pone. Third baseman Solis coming in well, but had a good eye on Pone squaring to bunt.
A 1 to Pone. Folds takes off. It's a pitch out. Throw to second, not nearly in time. First stolen base is a Riptide for Brock Folds. And a runner in scoring position with nobody out. We saw a stolen base in the top of the inning when Noah Rodriguez was aboard. Philippines tried to go aggressive to get the first run of the game. The Riptide do the same thing here in the bottom of the inning. 1-1 to Pone. He takes outside for a strike on the edge. So it's a 1-2 count to Nate Pone. .357 average through 6 games. 5 hits on the season, 2 RBIs. Number 3 could be Brock Folds, who's over at second after his walk and his stolen base. Aim looks over and fires. Chopped out towards first, right into the glove of Tagiam, who steps on the bag himself for the first out of the inning, but the go-ahead run 90 feet away as the Riptide look to strike first here on this Wednesday evening.
Critically, unlike the Philippines, where we look at that runner, the leadoff man to third base with 2 outs, just 1 out here for Alonzo Reyes. Was not the Riptide debut he wanted, went 0 for 4 and struck out 3 times last night. But great opportunity here to bring home his fellow new teammate in Folds and give the Riptide an early lead.
It was a tough lefty-lefty matchup for Reyes last night against Brandon Baller. He has another one here against Haim as he fouls back the first pitch he sees, a hard liner out into the trees in right field. As Sam mentioned, it was 3 strikeouts for Alonzo Reyes in his Riptide debut, so he's looking to find his form here in his second game. He swings and misses at the 0-1 and is quickly behind in the count. Reyes out of UC Irvine, going into his redshirt senior season. Played and started in all 52 games for the Anteaters this past season. 0-2 offering, swing and a miss. It falls into the dirt. Tagiam throws to first as Folds hustles home. And the Riptide strike first. It's 1-0 on some heads-up base running from Brock Folds.
That was super heads-up from Brock Folds. Recognized that Tagiam was sort of being a little bit casual with that one as he just threw softly to first to retire Reyes and sprinted home. No one covering home plate. Pitcher Haim wasn't aware of it and an early lead for the Riptide.
So the Riptide strike on a defensive miscue. With the bases empty and 2 outs, here's the Stanford Cardinal, Tatum Marsh. He takes inside to begin his at-bat. Marsh out for his 8th appearance of the season for Orange County. Hitting just .154 on the season. Swings and misses at the 1-0 outside for the first strike. There's 4 hits on the year for Tatum Marsh. Trying to find the form that he had as a true freshman at Stanford when he hit .377. 1-1. Swing and a miss once again. He's behind 1-2. It was such a promising freshman season for Marsh. He had all sorts of accolades that year. Perfect game and Baseball America freshman second team. He was an all-ACC freshman first team. As he chops this ball out towards second, a bouncer over to Nagashima. Throw to first in time. And the Philippines put an end to the inning. But the Riptide strike first on heads-up base running from Brock Foltz. It's 1-0 Orange County. We go to the top of the second here at Great Park. Top of the second inning, brought to you by our friends over at the Chick-fil-A in Woodbury Town Center. 1-0 Riptide after Brock Foltz struck for the first run of the game. And he reached on a walk in his first plate appearance, came around the bases to score. So 1-0 is where we stand as Julian Orozco heads out for his second inning of work. Micah Tagium leads things off, followed by Caden Lewis and Johnny Rister. First pitch of the inning for Orozco. Misses inside on a fastball for ball 1. Facing Micah Tagium, the Philippines first baseman tonight. Just an .071 average through 7 games. 1 hit on the season for the Philippines. 1-0. Chopped out towards third. It's scooped into the glove of Nunez, and he drops the ball. Throw to first on the bounce back is not in time. It gets away from the glove of Reyes. A disastrous play for the Riptide. Puts the leadoff base runner and Tagium over at second base.
Yeah, Nunez, I think, didn't realize quite exactly how much time he had to make that play. Ends up bobbling it. He probably could have just fielded it cleanly in a hurry to throw. Got up and realized he still had a chance to make a play, but threw errantly towards first and allows Tagium to get into scoring position. Not what you want to do here against a team like the Philippines. Give them extra chances to hang around in this game.
First error of the night for the Riptide. It allows Tagium to reach and get to second base. Here's the right fielder, Caden Lewis. He swings at the first pitch he sees and lines it out towards left field for a base hit. Third base coach waves up the stop sign, so it's runners on the corners with nobody out. Some trouble
here in the top of the second for Julian Orozco.
Lewis not waiting around. Got a good pitch to hit. Second time we've seen a liner into left field for a base knock already for the Philippines. And now Reister trying to come through in a big spot here. Philippines led 1-0 early in the game on Sunday before the Riptide rallied back to win 6-1. Trying to answer the Riptide's early score here.
So as Sam said, an early opportunity for Johnny Reister. When the runners on the corners and nobody out. Playing second base today for the Philippines. Orozco from the stretch fires. Curveball right down the middle for strike one. Reister a hot bat for a struggling Philippines squad. 348 on the season in 9 games. 8 hits, 2 RBIs, and a homer. Orozco throws to first and checks Caden Lewis. Remember, Orozco's only allowed 1 run on the season throughout his first 4 appearances. So it's rare to see him in this kind of situation here in the second inning.
Tagiam on third. That would be an unearned run if he came around to score after reaching on the error from Slater Nunez. Did allow an unearned run against the Bombers last time out.
A 1 to Reister. Runner takes off from first, and Lewis slides in safely at second, no throws. So both runners are in scoring position now with nobody out. But the good news for Orozco is he's up ahead 0-2 in the count.
More aggressiveness from the pickets in the dugout for the Philippines, pushing the gas pedal on the base paths.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game for Julian Orozco. He gets Reister to chase at a high fastball for the first out here in the top of the second, and a much-needed one at that with both of those runners in scoring position.
That is a big punchy right there for Julian Orozco. Came into today with 13. Now he's got 15 this summer. Want to go after Pena here.
Hector Pena, the Philippines left fielder. Batting 130 on the year through 11 games. He checks his swing on a first pitch strike outside. There's 3 hits on the season for Pena. He's walked in 4 plate appearances, struck out in 11. From Ventura College. 0-1. Misses outside.
It feels like Orozco's almost had more confidence in his off-speed stuff than his fastball so far today. Been able to drop stuff in the zone for strikes, but the fastball command has been a little bit more lackluster.
We'll see if he can get a grip on his fastball as his appearance goes on. He gets a swing and a miss there from Pena. So Orozco now ahead 1-2.
Definitely seen outings where starters have struggled a little bit for command, but they've been effectively wild so far this summer. Saw Tom McGuire 8 days ago have an outing where didn't really feel like he knew where the ball was going, but critically the hitters didn't know either, and he was able to get enough outs to make the walks a moot point.
1-2, misses high on the fastball. So it's an even count to Hector Pena. He's had a slow start here in the CCL, but he's a great hitter. 307 in 36 games up in Ventura College. 23 RBIs in his freshman season. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Neufeld has to throw over to first. He'll do so with plenty of time to spare. How about Julian Orozco, back-to-back strikeouts after allowing the first 2 runners to get into scoring position.
Those are 2 big steps forward, but job not finished here as Kai Nagashima comes to the plate.
Nagashima makes his Philippines debut. He was on the MLB Barons roster. Has left the academy for the Philippines. He's not the only player to do so. As he takes the first pitch, he sees low and outside. John Arnold, who's also on the Philippines, started off at the academy this summer. Left for the Philippines baseball group to play for the Pickets. Kai Nagashima chooses to do the same.
rising sophomore out of El Camino College. 1-0. Orozco clips the zone for strike one. It was a great year for Nagashima at El Camino. .322 average in 38 games. 46 hits and 30 ribbies. Orozco kicks and deals. Swatted back foul over the Philippines dugout at first base. And again, Orozco one pitch away from stranding a runner at third base. He did it with Rodriguez over there in the first inning. It's Tagiam at third and Lewis at second. 1-2 to Nagashima. Able to lay off on a pitch that bounces in the lefty batter's box to even the count at 2.
It's been hard work for Orozco. The error from Slater Nunez and the base hit from Lewis puts 2 in scoring position here with nobody out. Back-to-back Ks have gotten him a heck of a lot closer. Now just 1 strike from finishing the job, but it has been tension-filled here in the top of the second inning.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. One small step for Julian Orozco, one giant leap for the Riptide in the second inning. 3 straight strikeouts to stand runners in scoring position. It's 1-0 Orange County, and the Riptide come up to bat when we come back for the bottom of the second. On nothing Orange County in the bottom of the second. This half inning brought to you by our friends at First Class Pizza in Woodbury Town Center. Noah Neufeld leads things off here against Julius Haim. First pitch of the inning. A miss on the outside corner for ball 1. Neufeld, as you can see, is wearing 27 today. Catcher usually wears 17 for Orange County, but somehow he locked himself out of his locker where his jersey was as he pops this baseball into the air out towards first base. Reister, the second baseman, camps under it and drops the ball. So both teams now with an error in the game as Neufeld reaches, thanks to a Johnny Reister's missed ball over at first base.
Seen a lot of teams here in the CCL, including the Riptide, struggle with pop-ups, especially around this time of day when it's dusk. Lights are not yet on here at the Great Park. Things can get lost in the lights, or the lack of lights can make a difference. This is sort of unfamiliar playing conditions for a lot of the visiting teams. Most ballparks in the CCL, no lights. You're playing day games exclusively, but here at the Great Park, not the case.
Here's Thomas Cernius, welcome back, as he takes strike 1 outside. There's some extended time with the jammed thumb. Got an MRI. He was cleared to play. He's back in the lineup for the first time since June 19th.
as Haim throws over to Neufeld at first. Back to that Neufeld story. He locked himself out of his locker. Wears 17. The jersey's in there. They had to scramble to find him a new one. Weren't able to get the locker open in time, so he's wearing 27 today. As Haim throws over and checks Neufeld again. Cernius at the plate, finally out for his 10th game after missing time with that thumb injury. He had a hot bat before he was sidelined. .333 on the season, 11 hits, 10 RBIs. 0-1. Drop back foul, it's a 0-2 count. So he last played on the 19th against Conejo. That was that blowout win for the Riptide, 12-2. Cernius in that game, 1 for 5 with an RBI hit.
Yes, Cernius playing a position he's played a couple times this summer for the Riptide, right field, but he'd mostly been playing at first base or DH. So Brian Evans shuffling up the lineup here a little bit against the winless Philippines.
Of course, it's the newest member of the Riptide, Alonzo Reyes, who's playing first tonight. As the 0-2 to Cernius is bounced out into the glove of Reister at second. Flip to second. Gets away from the shortstop Nagashima covering. So both runners are aboard on a hit by Thomas Cernius. But how about the effort of Reister to try and make up for that previous error?
Yeah, certainly laying out. Did a great job to dive and snag that ball, but just not able to get the flip to second base. See how that one's officially scored. Whether it's a base hit for Cernius or not.
So Cernius, who was out for a few weeks, picks up right where he left off with a hit. I'll bring up Travis Curry with runners at first and second and no outs. He'll take the first pitch high. Curry playing second base today for Orange County. We've seen him mix around in the infield quite a bit. Second base, third base, shortstop. But with Connor Barth having the off day, it's Curry who takes over for him over at second. 1-0. Slashed out towards right field. Lazy fly ball. It drops foul. Curry hitting just 182 through 16 games, batting under that dreaded Mendoza line. 10 hits and 5 RBIs on the season for the Cal State Northridge commit.
What I've been so impressed with Travis Curry is that while the struggles at the plate have been noticeable and frustrating, he's done a great job defensively, not letting his miscues at the plate affect him in the field, and still playing good, solid defense for this Riptide team.
As he chops the 1-1 foul out towards third base, it's a 1-2 count. And that's why you see him as a staple in the Riptide lineup out at shortstop. It's because of his defensive ability. Not every player on the team is going to be the best hitter in the world, but of course, what you lack in some areas, you more than make up for in others. And for Travis Curry, it's his excellent defense at shortstop.
And his ability to play everywhere. Playing second base today. He's played some third base as well. He's done whatever the Riptide needed of him.
As the utility man takes outside, it's a 2-2 count. Obviously, he's at second today. Brock Folds at shortstop for the second straight game. And just his second game as a Riptide. So those two getting a feel for each other defensively for the first time. 2-2. Smacked out towards third. It's past the glove of Solis for a base hit. Here comes Neufeld. He'll score with ease. Second run of the game comes in for Orange County. It's 2-0 here in the bottom of the second on an RBI single from Travis Curry.
Travis Curry says, "Who says I can't contribute on offense?" Coming through for the Riptide, helping extend the lead. They did rule that Cernius grounder a base hit with a tough play for Ryder over there at second base. So second hit of the day for Orange County.
I think Curry heard us talk about his slow start offensively. He said, you know what, I'm going to show these guys that I can hit. Just power that ball past that gap at third base shortstop to extend this Riptide lead to 2. And that'll conjure up a pitcher's meeting out on the mound.
Early trouble here for Haim. Really hasn't been comfortable at any point in this game. Been working out of the stretch. Leadoff man reached in both the first and second innings. This Riptide lineup doing a great job of taking long at-bats, putting the ball in play, and the Philippines having some trouble defensively behind them.
Well, it's not the situation you want to be in here early if you're the Philippines. Obviously, you're down 2-0. But the thing is, there's nobody out. And you have a dangerous hitter in Slater Nunez who is certainly feeling good at the plate after he played hero ball in last night's game and got the go-ahead single in the 8th inning.
Yeah, went 2 for 3, and the big base hit in the 8th. So scored a run, stole a base. Slater was everywhere yesterday.
The Huskies shows bunt and fouls it back. It's an 0-1 count. Nunez out for his 14th game. He's hitting .250 on the season. Picked up his 10th hit and 6th RBI with that go-ahead single in the 8th last night.
That bunt there was how Nunez got his first hit yesterday. Laid a beauty down towards third and was able to beat it out.
Committed to play for the University of Washington. Chops this pitch back foul. It's an 0-2 count. From El Camino College, at 364 in 42 games. He was a South Coast Conference MVP this past season, thanks in part to his 46 ribbies and 7 home runs. Aim looks over to Cernius at second and fires. It's bounced out towards the Riptide dugout, so Nunez able to catch a piece and stay alive.
That's what I've liked here for the Riptide with their approach. It's done a good job of sticking in counts. Ray is the only strikeout so far today for Haim. Just extending at bats.
0-2 slashed in the air out towards right field. Tracking is Lewis. He makes the catch. Tags over to Reister at second base. As Cernius advances to third, it's runners on the corners with 1 out for the speedy Hunter Harrington.
Even if you don't necessarily reach base, Nunez helping move Cernius over to third with just 1 out. Harrington's speed, really tough guy to double up, so feel pretty confident that if Hunter can put one in play, Riptide could make it a 3-0 game.
Harrington started the season off batting leadoff in his appearances. He's slid down now to the 9 spot after a quiet stretch offensively. Right at that Mendoza line, 200 average on the season for Hunter Harrington through 8 games. He's looking to turn things around here with runners on the corners and just 1 out. Riptide already up 2-0 on the Philippines here early, as Harrington chops the first pitch he sees back foul.
I think it's a real struggle for a guy like Hunter Harrington. He was an everyday player at Cathedral Catholic High School. Now here at the Riptide, sort of serving as that 4th or 5th outfielder role where he's maybe drawing 2 or 3 starts a week. So it's a real adjustment for a guy like Harrington to make.
He smacks this pitch out towards center field. Rodriguez makes the catch. Here comes Cernius. Throw not nearly in time. And the Riptide extend that lead even more in the sac fly from Hunter Harrington. It's 3-0 Orange County here in the second.
Great job from Nunez and Harrington, both understanding the situation, recognizing all that you need to do is just lift one to the outfield. Harrington brings home the run. Hopefully, while it's not a base hit, I can get him out of this slit of a slump that he's in right now.
So Harrington will feel good about himself after bringing in Cernius, even as he heads back to the Riptide bench with the out. Orange County lineup turns over for the first time today as Brock Folds takes ball 1 outside. Still an opportunity for some more damage here in the second with Travis Curry over at first. Aim cautious of that, throws over. Curry caught in a pickle. He shuffles over to second. Throw made towards the shortstop Nagashima. That's how the inning comes to a close. But the Riptide tack on for 2, including an RBI single from Travis Curry. It's 3-0 Orange County. We head to the third. Top of the third inning brought to you by Fan Saves. Scan that QR code on your screen to learn more. Austin Plasinski on the mound rakes his Riptide debut after 2 solid innings of work from Julian Orozco. It's the top of the order, due for the Philippines. Noah Rodriguez, who reached on a single in his first at-bat, leads things off. First Riptide pitch from Plasinski is outside for ball 1. Austin Plasinski, rising junior out of Ladera, California. Ladera Ranch, that is, 6'3", 200 pounds. Pitched in 20 games this season for the Pepperdine Waves. As he misses outside once again, it's a 2-0 count. 8.20 ERA up in Malibu, 26.1 innings of work on the season. 9 walks to 25 strikeouts, an impressive ratio. But Plasinski's time in Malibu is over as he's entered the transfer portal. 2-0, skied back foul for the first strike. We were talking to Austin Plasinski when he got to Orange County the other day, who's a great guy to talk to, super friendly, introduced himself to all 4 of us broadcasters. Of course, Aiden Pham, Colin Costigan out in the radio booth right now, but a very friendly character overall.
Definitely a nice guy, good presence in the clubhouse.
2-1 misses inside. It's a 3-1 count. No surprise, he was named an OC Athlete of Character at his high school days in San Juan Hills. Certainly showed us his great character when we first met him.
Well, I knew he was going to fit in because on Sunday, when we played the Philippines, Plasinski was here. That misses inside for ball 4. And he already had Jarrett Sable sitting on his lap in the dugout for some fun hijinks in the dugout. So I think that fits in with the fun culture that the Riptide want to have, and Austin definitely fitting in early.
And he gives up a leadoff walk to Noah Rodriguez, who reaches base for the second time today. And paves way to Braden Solis. 0 for 1 with a flyout. First pitch from Plasinski misses inside for ball 1. And, of course, Jarrett Sable, often named as one of the funniest guys on this Riptide squad by his teammates. So with the antics with Plasinski, no surprise that he's fitting right into this Riptide squad. 1-0, Rodriguez thought about taking off, shuffles back as Plasinski misses outside. So the good news for Austin Plasinski, he's out for the first time with the Riptide. The bad news, can't really seem to find the strike zone so far.
Maybe getting a little familiar with this Great Park mound.
Fires the 2-0, low and inside for ball 3. Already surrendered the leadoff walk to Noah Rodriguez. Philippines had 2 runners on in the last inning. Both got into scoring position, but a trio of strikeouts from Julian Orozco left them stranded. 3-0. Missed his way outside for ball 4, so it's back-to-back walks for the Philippines. Rodriguez advances to second, and Braden Solis over at first. Great situation here for the DH, Austin Bash, as Noah Neufeld wants a word with Austin Plasinski.
Plasinski only walked 9 in his 26 1/3 innings for Pepperdine this season, so unusual to see him struggling with control, but he'll have to try and find it. And the Philippines, for the 3rd straight inning, threatening here early. They've had a runner in scoring position with nobody out every single frame of this game, just yet to get that hit with the runner in scoring position and bring them a run.
For as good as Orange County has been, walks and errors have been the issue throughout the first month of the season. Good at-bats from the Philippines to put runners at first and second. Here's Austin Bash. Bash shows bunt, pulls back on a pitch outside. So Plasinski down in the count once again. Bash the DH, 0 for 1, grounded out to Travis Curry at second in his first at-bat. But an opportunity to break through here with runners at first and second and no outs. He shows bunt again and pulls back on another miss from Plasinski. He just can't seem to find the strike zone.
And with how much struggle Plasinski is having to find the strike zone, I'm not sure I'd put the bunt sign on if I was Will Pickett in the dugout.
Have to be careful that if the ball does miss, you pull your bat as quickly back possible as you can so as to not get the strike. As Plasinski himself finally gets a strike, able to pick it up on the outer edge. So it's a 2-1 count to Austin Bash. Coach Pickett's of the Philippines, as you said, stopped Bash from bunting. He goes back to it here. It's a high pop-up out towards first. It takes a bounce in front of Reyes. He's unable to scoop it up. And its bases loaded with nobody out for the Philippines here in the third. So the tying run is now at first in Austin Bash. And Dylan Tagiam has a major opportunity with nobody out here in the third.
Looked like Reyes was in between deciding whether to try to catch the pop-up or let it drop and potentially try to throw a runner out on the base pass. Brian Evans is going to come out to the mound just to try and settle everyone down. But wasn't a great bunt for Bash, but it works out. And bases juiced with nobody out here. And a lot of trouble for Plazinski.
There is somebody warming up in the Riptide bullpen. Looks like it's A.J. Frosto or Julian Hines.
Hines.
Confirmation from Sam Evans, thank you. Julian Hines warming up in the Riptide bullpen. There has to be some nerves for Plazinski. Yeah, he's making his first start all summer. He's walked 3 batters. So you got to wonder if Brian Evans went out there to maybe calm his pitcher down here in this situation.
Coach Ramos says that when Evans comes out there, he usually just tries to keep it pretty real, be honest with the pitchers. Evans, of course, a pitcher for himself, played over a decade in the minor leagues, as high as AAA. So he's been in situations like this before. He knows what to say to these guys to try and settle them down and get some outs.
Catcher Dylan Tagiam at the plate, swings at the first pitch he sees, goes to Folds, throw to second for 1, throw to first in time for a double play as the run comes in. So the Philippines get a run on and hold up here. We got a situation out on the field.
I think it hit the runner coming from second. And so that will mean that everyone has to go back to their respective base paths. But there should be an out on the play.
There is an out on the scoreboard.
It should be Solis out from second. Umpires are going to come together and talk about it. But looked like our third plate umpire, Heath Jones, ruled that Solis got hit by the baseball.
I'm not really sure what's going on here. Never in my life have I seen something like that where the runner gets hit by the ball as it's being put into play. Supposedly, though, that would constitute an out.
Yeah, it would definitely be an out. The question is, once that happens, are all the other outs now null and void? Because potentially it could be a triple play. So we'll see what the ruling is here.
There's one out ruled. Micah Tagiam, who was on deck, has stepped up to the batter's box. There's still some discussion going on between Heath Jones and Grant Mayu. Still trying to figure out what's going on here. Looks like, Sam, you got the call right. It'll just be one out on Solis.
But Solis is still on base. He's still standing there on second.
So what's going on here? Okay, so there's one out on the scoreboard. Tagiam is not at the plate. It's his brother, Micah.
Oh, is the batter
I believe
out?
that the batter, Tagiam, is out, but the runners stay put.
Okay, I see. There we go.
So we'll rule it an interference out on Tagiam. Or at least that's our ruling until the official scoring comes in. So Dylan Tagiam is out. Micah Tagiam is in. First pitch to Micah, misses outside. Good thing we were able to sort that out. Never seen anything like that in my life where the ball hits a batter as he's running over. But you know what? We saw it here tonight. We're able to sort out what happened there. 1-0 to Micah Tagiam. Swing and a miss. It's a 1-1 count. So Noah Rodriguez is still at third. Solis, who was hit by the ball on the play, still over at second. Austin Bash at first. Dylan Tagiam out and Micah Tagiam the batter.
On a strange one, because the Riptide had turned 2 on the play. Rodriguez came home to potentially score, but ends up working out for no runs come across, but also only 1 out instead of 2. Very strange play here at the Great Park. That's the beauty of baseball, is you're always going to see something new.
So the good news for the Riptide is there is an out on the scoreboard as Plazinski gets a swing and a miss from Tagiam. He's finally ahead in the count, 1-2.
Saw Roscoe work his way out of trouble with 3 straight strikeouts to end the second inning, or at least the top of the second inning, and now Plazinski trying to do the same thing.
Trying to get out of this pickle here in the third. He nearly clips Tagium on a fastball that runs inside. Tagium able to duck away. It's a 2-2 count. Tying run at first is Austin Bash. Go ahead run at the plate, and Micah Tagium. Dylan, of course, out on the interference play. 2-2, clips the zone inside for strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Austin Plazinski. And whatever happened there, whether it was the mound visit with Brian Evans or that interference out, it seems to have instilled some confidence in Plazinski out on the mound.
Certainly worked out there. Now you have 2 outs on the scoreboard, no runs across. Opportunity to work around the bases loaded, nobody out jam if you can get Lewis out here without allowing a run.
Here's the beer batter in Caden Lewis. Reached on a single in his first plate appearance as he takes a strike from Plazinski to begin his at-bat. That play was so confusing, by the way, that the CCL game page, the live stats, has broken down. We're unable to access the page. It was such a baffling play that the computer can't even figure out what happened. As Lewis swings and misses, he's behind 0-2. What an end of the inning it would be for Plazinski if he's able to get Lewis out here and leave the bases stranded after walking the first 3 batters he faced. Here's the payoff. Misses upstairs. It's been an interesting inning. The 3 walks, that baffling interference call. And then a bounce-back strikeout from Plazinski. Looks for another bounce-back here. The 1-2 misses outside.
Definitely a strange one here for Austin in his first frame with the Riptide. But need to try and flush that out of his mind and go after Lewis here in the 2-2 count.
Just your average Wednesday at the ballpark. 2-2. Misses inside. So Lewis, who was down 0-2 in the count, works 3 straight balls on Austin Plazinski. And he has an opportunity to walk in the first run of the game for the Philippines.
Lewis has 2 walks in 10 games this summer and struck out 12 times.
Dramatics building here in the third inning. Payoff from Plazinski. Runners take off. It's chopped back foul. Aggressiveness on the base paths here with a full count and 2 outs. No surprise with a hit and run situation.
Well, with the bases loaded, 3-2 count, 2 outs, you can run on every single pitch the rest of the way here if you're the Philippines.
Lewis looks to at least draw a walk and get on base to bring in the first run. Here's the payoff once again. Swing and a miss. Austin Plazinski walks the first 3 batters he faces, but works 3 outs to leave the bases loaded. What a bounce back from Plazinski in his Riptide debut. It stays 3-0 Orange County. We head to the bottom of the third.
Bottom of the third inning here at Great Park. Riptide up 3-0. This half inning brought to you by Marucci, the official outfitter of the OC Riptide. Brock Folds leads things off, shows bunt, and pops it way back in the air for strike one. Top of the order, due up here for the Riptide in the third. Folds, Pone, and Reyes. Julian Hames stays out on the mound for the Philippines. 0-1. Swinging and a miss from Folds. He's behind 0-2. Riptide blessed to stay out with this 3-run lead. It was 2 walks and a single given up from Austin Plasinski. And then he was able to bounce back and work 3 straight outs to leave the bases stranded in the top of the inning for the Philippines.
They've already left 6 in the first 3 innings here.
0-2 misses outside.
And if you're a team like the Philippines who hit just 182, worst in the CCL, that's really not something you can afford. You have to take advantage of your chances.
Another miss. So Folds, who was down 0-2, works the count even. Reached on a walk in his first plate appearance. Stole a base, came around to score. 2-2. Chopped back foul. And you're exactly right, Sam. If you're the Philippines, the goal was to strike early. They had multiple opportunities to do it. Noah Rodriguez was at third in the first inning. And you had runners in scoring position in the second and the bases loaded in the third. As Folds takes low and works the count full. But somehow they were unable to bring in any of those runners. And down 3-0, it could cost them down the stretch. Full count payoff, misses outside. How about Brock Folds? Down 0-2 in the count, he is able to work a leadoff walk here in the third.
You know, if you're the Philippines, it's sort of like with the World Cup going on. You're a team that's not exactly playing great in the match. You're getting dominated. The other team has more possession, more shots, more chances, and then you get a penalty, but you miss the penalty kick. Bases loaded, nobody out. That's an opportunity that really at least needs to be multiple runs. That has to be 2 runs on the board. Philippines get 0, haven't been able to put the ball in play. They've had opportunities with runners on third and less than 2 outs and have struck out 3 times already in this game.
Here's Nate Pone. Takes the first pitch he sees, high for ball 1. Running out in his first at-bat. Speaking of the World Cup, United States beats Bosnia 2-0 tonight up in Santa Clara. It advances them to the round of 16 where they take on Belgium in Seattle.
You know, I just brought up soccer because I knew it would get you excited. I knew it would get you motivated, feeling patriotic, and proud of the U.S. You were fired up here in the booth pregame.
Unfortunately, there was a controversial red card on Folarin Balogun, the United States striker. 1-0. So the win, important but a little bit overshadowed by that. You expect an appeal from the United States. Looked like an accidental play. You could argue either way. VAR said it was a red card. 1-0 to Pone. Folds takes off. Throw to second gets away from Nagashima covering. It's the second stolen base of the game for Brock Folds. And this is exactly what we saw in the first inning. Leadoff walk from Folds and a stolen base to get the second.
Showing off the wheels here with the Riptide. Trajan Rogowski, Alex Dolan might have some company atop the Riptide stolen base leaderboards. They're now 55 stolen bases, ranked second in the CCL South Division.
Nate Pone, a guy that could sneakily steal a base on you too, as he takes outside and is ahead in the count 3-0.
He stole a base in the non-league game against the Malibu Marlins a couple weeks back, but yet to attempt one in the league play.
Not your typical build for a catcher, 5'8", 190. He's a speedy guy. He's able to get on base as Haim works back-to-back walks to begin the third inning. So just like the Philippines, here in the third, the Riptide get their first 2 batters aboard on walks. I'm going to bring up Alonzo Reyes, who is still searching for his first hit as a Riptide.
Kai Sanchez is limbering up in the Philippines bullpen. He's just about to throw his first pitches from the actual mound. Had been playing catch from a little bit closer to the bullpen catcher, but now throwing from the full distance and getting closer to being able to come into this game. But Haim's going to have to hang around for at least a little longer.
Command issues bring Dylan Tagiam out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. And if you recall, Haim was ahead 0-2 in the count on the leadoff batter, Brock Folds. Since then, he's thrown 8 straight pitches outside. Alonso Reyes up. He takes the first pitch outside on the edge of the zone for a strike. 0 for 4 in the last game with 3 strikeouts. Began his evening here against the Philippines with a strikeout. As he smacks this ball into center field, there's the first base hit as a Riptide for Alonso Reyes. As Folds scores. And Pones over at third. Reyes extends his single to a double. An RBI double at that. It's 4-0 Orange County here in the third.
Hustle double right there for Alonso. Coming out of the box, he was thinking 2 the whole way. Racing around, throw from the center fielder Rodriguez a little bit offline. Able to sneak in there. Riptide already up 4-0. Got 2 more in scoring position. Trying to blow this one wide open early on Wednesday night.
Here's Tatum Marsh. 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out. Julian Haim on the mound trying to make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand here in the third inning. Marsh swings at the first offering and lifts it out towards center field. Running in is Rodriguez. He makes the catch. Pone tags. Throw is not in time. There's run number 5 for the Riptide here in the third inning on a sacrifice fly from Tatum Marsh.
Second slack fly of the day for the Riptide. Harrington had the first. His future Stanford teammate Tatum Marsh has the second.
Sapone comes in for the run. Reyes stays at second. Here's Noah Neufeld, who reached on an error by Johnny Reister at second in his first at bat. He takes a high fastball. It's 1-0. You wonder how much longer Haim will stay in the game with Sanchez warming up in the Philippines bullpen. 5 runs given up already and an opportunity for some more here in the third. This ball skied out over the Philippines dugout foul.
Definitely not the outing the left-hander would have wanted. Gave up 4 earned runs, 5 total in 3 innings against the Oaks last time out 8 days ago.
He's done the same thing so far here tonight. 5 runs, only 4 earned. As he misses outside. Noah Neufeld looks to get on base for the second time today. Searching for his first hit of the game. 6 hits on the season for the Riptide catcher. Here's the 2-1. It juts inside and misses the edge of the zone for ball 3. Noah Neufeld from Laguna Beach, California. Plays his collegiate ball at Colorado Mesa. At .333 this past season up in the Rocky Mountain State. He lifts the 3-1 into the air, a high pop-up into foul territory. It drops into the Philippines bullpen, and a great catch by Kai Sanchez. Obviously not an out there, but Sanchez stays sharp defensively in that Philippines bullpen. Now, in banana ball, which is completely a different sport from baseball, in my opinion, that would be constituted as an out.
I'm sure the Philippines are wishing this was banana ball right about now.
Full count payoff. Misses low and inside for ball 4. So the Riptide worked the 3rd walk of the inning. Noah Neufeld takes his trip to the base paths for the 2nd time today. He's reached in both of his plate appearances. Didn't get a hit in either. Nevertheless, he's aboard, so it's runners at first and second with 1 out for Thomas Cernius, who got a single in his first trip around the base paths.
Riptide sent 4 to the plate in the first, 5 in the second. Cernius, the 6th man to come to bat here in the third.
Cernius got the hit, came around to score back in that 2-run second inning. He takes a first pitch strike on the outer edge. Pitch count continuing to climb here in the third for Julian Haim. 51 pitches here in the inning. Well, 1 misses high and outside. Of course, it's good to have Thomas Cernius back after he missed some time with that thumb injury. Thankfully, he's okay medically. We saw him warming up in batting practice yesterday. And, of course, here he is back in the lineup. Got a hit in his first plate appearance. As he checks his swing, it misses outside on a 2-1.
He had to get an MRI as part of his recovery from that jammed thumb.
It's from nearby Yorba Linda. Plays his collegiate ball up in Princeton, New Jersey. 2-1 from the Princeton Tiger. He bounces it out towards the mound. Haim to second for one. Throw to first in time for a double play.
Safe at second base. Reister wasn't able to get his foot on the bag on the throw.
So scratch that terrible call I just had. Safe at second. Throw to first in time. Probably should have been a double play. The Riptide able to avoid ending this third inning. So with the missed double play chance, it's Reyes at third, Neufeld at second, and Travis Curry up at the plate as we have some sort of discussion here between Coach Pickett's and Heath Jones. I think Pickett's wanted a double play. Obviously, he didn't get it.
Yeah, looks like he might be asking for a mound visit here now, and Sanchez is going to come into this game.
So it looks like we'll have a pitching change here. And indeed we do. Julius Haim's day is done. He exits with 5 runs on the board, but could be in line for 2 more. Kai Sanchez takes over with runners in scoring position and 2 outs here in the third inning. Don't go anywhere. Riptide Baseball will be right back here on the Riptide TV network. Welcome back. Bottom of the third inning at Great Park. Avi Singh alongside Sam Evans. Riptide have already put 5 runs in this game, and they have an opportunity for 2 more with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Kai Sanchez takes over for Julius Haim on the mound like he did in his last start up in Conejo. Trying to get out of this inning without letting those runners reach. Travis Curry at the plate. He swings and misses through Sanchez's first pitch of the game. So Sanchez came in for Haim in Haim's last start back on June 23rd in Conejo. 2 innings of work for Sanchez. 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 Ks.
Julian Hines warming in the Riptide bullpen. Looks like he'll be the next man for Brian Evans when this inning comes to an end.
0-1. Right in the zone for a strike. Gets 0-2. Well, we saw Hines warm up when Plasinski was still out there after letting the first 3 runners reach. Obviously, He was able to bounce back and get 3 straight outs to strand the runners. No surprise that Hines will take over for the Riptide. Curry swings at the 0-2 and fouls it back to stay alive. Sanchez, the new pitcher out of Maui, Hawaii. Long way from home here in Southern California. Plays at L.A. Pierce, like many of his Philippines teammates. And an 8.31 ERA up at L.A. Pierce and 8 2/3 innings of work this season. 0-2. This is low and inside for ball 1. 4th appearance of the season for Sanchez. A 15.75 ERA in 4 innings of work. Looks to lower that here against the Riptide. Works with a 1-2 count against Travis Curry. Here's the pitch. Curry chops it out towards the mound into the glove of Sanchez. It drops out. 1 run comes in. It's Reyes who scores. A mistake from the pitcher, Kai Sanchez, costs yet another run for the Philippines. It's 6-0 Orange County.
Almost seemed like Sanchez wasn't quite sure how many outs there were there. Ended up flipping one to the plate, and Reyes coming home to score before the tag could be made, but just had to be calm and throw to first, get Curry to end the inning. Works out in the Riptide's favor, though.
Here's Slater Nunez. 0 for 1 in the game with a flyout. That run, by the way, assists to the starter, Julius Haim. As Sanchez misses low in the dirt. Good block by Tagium to prevent Curry from getting over to second. Still waiting for the ruling on that last play as to whether or not it was an error by the pitcher, Kai Sanchez. 1-0. This is way out in the dirt. It gets past Tagium. Here comes Neufeld, and the Riptide tack on even more. It's 7-0 Orange County in the third. Boy, this game is getting out of hand.
That one ricocheted really well for the Philippines. I think Tagium and the pitcher Sanchez has been a little bit more forceful in getting to the plate into the baseball. Might have had a chance to tag Neufeld at the plate and in the inning, but instead, 7-0 Riptide.
He had a chance for it there. It bounced back towards Tagium. Neufeld able to beat it out with a hustle play. So unfortunately for the Philippines, they weren't able to get him out at the plate. And it's a 7-0 ball game. Both of those runs that came in, by the way, go to Julius Haim. As Sanchez's misses low in the dirt once again.
The Curry play has been ruled an error by the pitcher Sanchez. So that's going to be an unearned run. The wild pitch by a different pitcher, also an unearned run. So a little bit friendlier there for Haim than it potentially could have been here.
It was the E1 that allowed Curry to reach safely, and that brought in Lonzo Reyes. And then the wild pitch just now brought in Noah Neufeld. So it's Curry over at second and a 3-1 count to Slater Nunez. As Sanchez, he's at home. Able to clip the zone for strike 2.
Nunez thought he had ball 4. Turned to throws back towards the dugout, but instead he'll have to continue the AB.
Hunter Harrington, the 9-hole hitter on deck. Comes Brock Folds, the leadoff hitter, who started the inning for the Riptide. So they could bat all the way from 1 to 9 as this pitch misses on a bounce in the dirt. So Nunez walks home and Curry advances. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs for Hunter Harrington. And if he reaches safely, the Riptide, Sam, have an opportunity to bat around here in the third.
Harrington, the 9th man to come to the plate. Had a sac fly to center last time up. Inning ended when Curry, who's over on third, was picked off. But coming up here, just trying to extend the inning. Riptide already got 4 runs home this frame. They've scored in every inning of this game. Just a complete disaster for the Philippines, who already had the highest ERA in the CCL coming into this one, and it's only getting higher right now.
Harrington had the sac fly to bring in the second run in the second inning as Nunez thought about stealing second base. He's caught in a pickle. Now Curry wants to go home. They throw home. Curry goes to third. He ducks away and is tagged out. So a base running mistake ends the inning. But the Riptide put up a 4 spot against the Philippines and take the starter, Julius Haim, out of the ball game. It's 7-0 Orange County we head to the top of the fourth. Top of the fourth inning, Riptide up 7-0 on the visiting Philippines baseball group. This half inning brought to you by Richardson, the official headgear provider of the CCL. Riptide go from Julian Orozco to Austin Plazinski to another Julian here in the fourth, and Julian Hines. He faces Ajani Reister. Here's his first pitch. Chopped back foul. It was an interesting inning for Austin Plazinski. Walked the first two batters he faced, gave up a single to load the bases, and then worked 3 straight outs, including 2 strikeouts.
I'm going to call it a resilient inning.
I like that.
It's got to be complimentary.
0-1. Smacked out towards second on a bouncer, gloved by Curry. Throw to first. In time for out 1. It could be interesting in a positive way.
That's true. It was certainly an interesting frame with the play, with the interference call, and a little bit of everything. Hines faced this Philippines team on Sunday, gave up 2 hits, helped by Bradley Boudreau, nabbing a runner at the plate to make sure that the Philippines did not score in the frame.
Well, fielder Hector Pena up at the plate. He swings at the first pitch he sees and catches a piece of it foul. 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. Against the newly committed Wagner Seahawk, Julian Hines. Out for his 6th appearance of the season. He misses low and outside for ball 1. Hines sporting a .450 ERA on the year through 4 innings of work, including that scoreless inning his last time out, as you mentioned, against the Philippines. 1-1 from Hines. Is smacked back foul. It's a 1-2 count. We're talking to Julian Hines. He was between Wagner and Iona, so he knew he wanted to go to upstate New York, where, of course, you are collegiately at Syracuse.
Well, Wagner's on.
Well, Wagner's in Staten Island, rather, so he knew he wanted to go to the state of New York. The question is, do you go upstate or near the city. As he's unable to clip the zone, it's a 2-2 count. He chooses the city. Wagner, of course, in Staten Island.
You know, to be honest, they say bad things about Staten Island, but given the choice between upstate New York and the greatest city in the world, not a bad choice to take the greatest city in the world.
2-2. Smacked out past the glove of Hines on the mound. Curry hustles over to the ball. He's unable to get it. A gritty single from Hector Pena. So he's aboard with one out here in the fourth inning. Philippines trying to scrap something together, down by 7.
Yeah, Hines got his glove down, but just not able to corral that baseball and ended up slowing it down enough that Curry and Folds had no chance coming in from the middle infield and a one-out single.
Kai Nagashima at the plate. 0 for 1 so far in his Philippines debut with a strikeout. Takes an inside strike to begin his at-bat. As an ex-New Yorker myself, who was born in Brooklyn, grew up there for a few years before moving to Phoenix, and who spent many of his summers in the city, I can say Staten Island's not a bad place if you want some more space. Chopped out towards the mound on the 0-1. It goes over the head of Hines, into the glove of Folds, throw to first, in time for the out. Great heads-up play defensively by Folds to get to that baseball after it skipped over the head of Hines. So the Riptide get the second out of the inning as Pena advances to second.
How old were you when you left New York?
It was about 4.5.
Okay.
Summer of 2011, 2010, I believe.
Wow.
But many of my summers were spent in New York City and Connecticut, where my grandparents are. Lineup turns over. Here's Noah Rodriguez. He's reached in both of his plate appearances today. Swings and misses at the first pitch. He sees low for strike 1. Single and a walk for Rodriguez. Got all the way to third base both times, but was unable to get home for the Philippines. That's been the story of the game offensively for them, the missed opportunities with runners on the base paths. 6 runners left on base through the first third. As Hines clips the lower edge of the zone for strike 2. But yeah, Staten Island, not a bad place if you want some space near the city. Manhattan and Brooklyn, where I was originally from, I'd say are more claustrophobic.
Not a lot of free real estate there.
Not really. 0-2. Smacked out towards third. It takes a bounce off the glove of Nunez. A tough play at first. Sliding in is Pena. He's safe. Almost a heads-up out at third. It should be a single for Noah Rodriguez, and it is. So it's Rodriguez's second hit of the day. Pena nearly tagged out at third, able to get back in safely. Runners on the corners for Braden Solis as the Philippines still look for their first run of the game.
I cannot stress enough how good of a play Brock Folds just made. Almost gets the out at third base, which would have been the cherry on top. That ball bounces off Slater Nunez. Folds on a routine grounder headed to third, is doing his job, doing the little things right, backing up his third baseman, able to catch that deflection. That saves a run. Pena absolutely comes around to score if Folds doesn't snag that baseball. Great play.
So he chops the first pitch. He sees foul out towards third base. And you know what? In these first 2 games from Folds, we have seen nothing short of tremendous defense from him at shortstop.
Well, that's both difficult from an athleticism standpoint to adjust to the ricochet, but also from just a awareness standpoint. It's so easy to switch off in a 7-0 game in summer ball. He's doing all the little things right. Great stuff from Brock Folds.
He's an athletic guy, a two-way player at Mount San Antonio. As Hines misses outside, it's a 1-1 count. The Riptide have certainly welcomed the addition of Brock Folds here as they head into the second month of the season. 1-1. Chopped out towards third, into the glove this time of Nunez. Clean throw over to first to end the inning. So the Philippines have runners in scoring position, but are once again unable to make do of anything on the base paths. Riptide come up to bat, looking to extend the 7-0 lead in the bottom of the fourth. The California Collegiate League's biggest event of the summer is coming to Reno, Nevada this Saturday, July 4th. The 2026 CCL All-Star Game will bring together the league's top players and future professional prospects at Greater Nevada Field, home of the Reno Aces. Following the game, fans will enjoy a spectacular fireworks show as part of the America 250 celebration. To purchase tickets and learn more, visit calsummerball.com. A few of those All-Stars on this Orange County Riptide squad. Up 7-0 here in the bottom of the fourth inning on the visiting Philippines baseball group. It'll be 9-1-2 in the inning for the Riptide. Hunter Harrington, Brock Folds, and Nate Pone, a trio of righties against the righty reliever Kai Sanchez, who's out for his second inning of work after having to come in the previous inning for Julius Haim.
Well, all the Riptide All-Stars have the day off today. Trajan Rogowski, Jarrett Sable, both not in the lineup. Pitching side of things, Dylan Orr was spectacular in 3 scoreless innings last night. He'll have the day off at least until Saturday in the All-Star game, and Jake Valenzuela also not pitching today. So no All-Stars, no problem for the Riptide so far.
Harrington swings at the first pitch he sees and hits it back foul. Cooper Klauser also named an All-Star. He will not be making the trip up to Reno, so he doesn't get an official All-Star roster spot, but he was still honored with his All-Star nod.
Certainly well-deserving for all 5 of them. Would have liked to see Reed Montgomery get in there as well, but there's always going to be some snubs.
0-1 to Harrington, clips the zone for strike 2. Harrington 0 for 1, but it was a productive out, a sacrifice fly to bring in the second run in that 2 spot in the second inning for the Riptide. Plenty of 2s in inning number 2. Swing and a miss from Harrington. So a strikeout for Hunter Harrington in the second at bat. That's how things start off for the pitcher Kai Sanchez here in the bottom of the fourth. And the Riptide lineup turns over for the second time today. Brock Fold steps up to the plate. He's walked and scored in both of his plate appearances.
Just the second K of the day for the Philippines. Alonzo Reyes went down swinging in the first. Besides that, the Riptide have done a great job of putting the ball in play and gotten great outcomes as a result here.
Brock Folds takes inside for ball 1. Still does not have a hit as a member of the Riptide, but he's been relatively productive around the base paths, or rather he had a hit yesterday, not a hit in today's game. This pitch is outside for ball 2.
It was the play where there was briefly ruled an error and then changed to a base hit for Brock, so a little bit of confusion there. But
Okay, that makes sense, because I still had that as an E5 in my book. I guess they went around and changed that. That was in yesterday's ball game. As Folds take a strike inside, it's 2-1. It was part of that 2-run 5th inning for the Riptide in the bottom of the 5th yesterday. Gritty 3-2 win over the visiting San Diego Waves as Folds takes an inside strike for an even count.
the Waves are a really tough team. Came in having won back-to-back games against the Foresters and Barons, 2 above 500 teams in the CCL. Gave the Riptide all they could handle last night.
2-2 misses outside for a full count.
Sanchez has probably thrown 4 pitches to the backstop now. He's only faced 4 hitters. Just really having trouble. When he misses, he's missed big.
Seen plenty of pitches in the dirt so far from Kai Sanchez. 3-2. Another bounce in the dirt, so a leadoff, or rather a one-out walk for Brock Folds, who had 2 leadoff walks, and he walks for the 3rd time today.
Doing a great job of taking what the Philippines pitchers are giving him, which really is not much. Saw a couple competitive pitches in his second at-bat an inning ago, but besides that, it's been 4 wide ones.
Folds had a leadoff walk in the 3rd. Nate Pone followed him up with a walk as well. And we'll see if he can do it again here. First pitch to Pone way outside. Another bounce in the dirt. Folds easily advances to second. And Sanchez really needs to elevate his pitches. Seems like everything's going in the dirt.
Well, it's not just in the dirt, but he's missing away. He's yanking these pitches Was trying to throw it too hard. That arm coming too far across to his left side. Not good outcomes.
1-0. Smacked back foul over the Philippines dugout. Live scores, by the way, today in the CCL. Santa Barbara 13, Conejo 5. That'll help the Riptide out in that battle for the first place spot in the playoffs. Up in the north, Walnut Creek 8, Sonoma 2. Alameda up 13-5 on Menlo Park in the 9th. Slow up 5-0 on San Francisco in the 8th. 1-1. Swing and a miss. It's a 1-2 count. The other big result in the CCL South, Arroyo Seco beat MLB 6-5. A tough loss for the Barons. Much needed win for the Saints, who have struggled throughout most of June. Here on July 1st. 1-2. Misses inside. It's a 2-2 count. So things are looking good for the Riptide. They're in prime position to get that number 1 seed this year.
Yeah, came in today. There were 3 teams above 500 who are playoff eligible in the CCL South. Santa Barbara not eligible for the postseason. Riptide were 2 games ahead of the Yokes, 2.5 ahead of the Barons. Both those teams have lost, and of course 7-0 here. Riptide lead. Bone strikes out, but great opportunity for Orange County to gain a full game on both those teams, put some breathing room as you head up to Conejo tomorrow. A trip that's really been difficult so far. 0-2 on the road in Ventura this season.
Spone went fishing at a pitch in the dirt. Spone strikes out. Reyes steps up with 2 outs. Got his first Riptide hit in his last at-bat. That RBI double back in the 3rd. First pitch to Reyes. Misses low and inside. There's still another month of baseball left to be played. It's just now the 1st of July. It's about 3 weeks left of the regular season. And then that last week of July is, of course, playoff week. Runner takes off. Reyes is clipped. So Folds, who is at second, has to head back over thanks to the hit by pitch. As Reyes reaches for the second time today, he's over at first. So it's runners at first and second with 2 outs in the inning for Tatum Marsh.
Sanchez again missing in that left-handed hitter's matters box. A lot of the early ones have come with righties at the plate, but this is the first lefty that Sanchez has faced, and he ends up plunking him.
Marsh still has not reached base. 0 for 2 in the game. Did have a sacrifice fly in that 4-run 3rd.
So he's only 0 for 1. That's not too bad.
First pitch, Folds takes off and steals 3rd. How about Brock Folds? 4 stolen bases now in the game. 4.
Did they count him stealing home? Is that what you're counting as the 4th?
I believe he stole second base.
Yeah, he stole second twice and now stole 3rd here. Those are the 3 that I have.
Well, I have a stolen base for Folds in the 1st inning.
He had a wild pitch earlier. I thought it was a wild pitch that allowed him to move up.
Okay, I had 3 stolen bases before.
I see. Okay, here let's take a look.
So it's either number 3 or number 4. Either way, that's solid stuff from Folds. As Marsh takes the 2-0 low in the dirt. That's his 3rd stolen base. I've been bested once again by Sam Evans, so my scoring today is maybe not on its A game. Riptide's certainly on their A game, and they're up 7-0.
Just getting lucky, you know? Universe. 0-1 here in July.
3-0 inside for strike 1.
Love to see a guy like Tatum Marsh really get going here. Blowout game. Get a good pitch to hit here in the 3-1 count.
There's a bounce in the dirt for ball 4. So Marsh reaches for the first time today on a walk. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Noah Neufeld.
Well, the Riptide now loaded the bases without the benefit of a base hit. It's like there's going to be a pitching change here.
Kai Sanchez's day on the mound is done. He'll exit with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Another righty takes over for him when we come back. 7-0 Riptide, an opportunity for some more damage here on the Riptide TV network. Bottom of the fourth inning, 7-0 Riptide. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. New pitcher is Nate Bauman, who's out for a second appearance of this season. Both of those coming against the Riptide. Noah Neufeld bats with 2 outs and all those runners aboard. Riptide put up a 4 spot in the third to keep this game out of reaches. There's a high pop-up out towards the backstop. Nope, play for Tagium as it pops back foul.
I saw that pop right back up towards here in the press box. Took a big bounce off the concrete floor here at the Great Park.
Hopefully somebody caught that. They can exchange it, of course, for a free piece of candy over at concessions.
Daniel over in the press box was trying to jump out for it. He was getting greedy out there. Wants the candy. Hard to blame him.
We have no play on a foul ball with the window closed. Aiden Pham, Colin Costigan outside in the radio booth do have a play on a foul ball. A 1 hit out on a roller towards first. Micah Tagium picks it up and steps on the bag himself to end the inning. So crisis averted. Bases are stranded for the Riptide and no runs come in. It's 7-0 Orange County. We head to the top of the 5th.
Top of the fifth at Great Park. This half inning brought to you by the Fairmont Schools in San Juan Capistrano. Avi Single alongside Sam Evans. Colin Ree on the mound for the Riptide. It's his second appearance of the season, second inning of work for Brian Evans. Austin Bash, Dylan Tagium, Micah Tagium due up for the Philippines. Down 7-0 here in the fifth. First pitch strike for Colin Ree. Picks up right where he left off last week. It was a scoreless inning of work for him, a 1-2-3 out inning, an impressive one at that with 2 strikeouts in his first live appearance in quite a while after his third Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, 3 is more than you'd like to have. It's been a really long road to recovery for Ree, but he's back. He's feeling good, giving his arm plenty of time to recover, and trying to put together a second straight great outing here. It's like a low-level situation, but for Ree, it just feels so good to get back on the mound in a competitive environment and face live hitters.
He's up 0-2 in the count here on the first batter in Bash, and he misses inside and low on a pitch in the dirt. Ree, a local guy, he's from Irvine. Pitched in many games here at Great Park coming up in high school baseball, and now here he is this summer with the Riptide back at Great Park. 1-2. Smacked out towards left field, a base hit. So it's a leadoff single for Austin Bash, his second hit of the day. If you recall, he reached on a bunt single, an awkward one at that in his last plate appearance. So he's 2 for 3 on the day.
Well, it's not often that the team that's trailing 7-0 is out hitting the team that leads, but this is happening right now. Just 3 base hits for the Riptide, but the Philippines have sort of self-destructed with walks and errors so far today, and Orange County's been there to take advantage.
Certainly been a wonky evening of baseball here at Great Park. Seen all sorts of different things out there on the diamond. As Ree fires the first pitch, strike outside to Dylan Tagium. 0 for 2 on the day, struck out and then reached on that awkward interference call in the third inning, which I think we're still wrapping our heads around. A 1 from Ree. Runner takes off, but it doesn't matter anyways, as Tagium is clipped in the front shoulder. So he gets a free trip to first base. Bash, who's taking off for second, gets to advance there regardless. So it's runners at first and second and nobody out. As one Tagium reaches base, and here's the other at the plate in Micah.
Yeah, a little bit of a less smooth outing here for Colin Ree. And again, runners in scoring position for the Philippines. They've had someone reach second base every inning of this game. They've left 8 men on already. It's pretty unbelievable that they've not managed to bring a run home, just given the sheer amount of chances they've had.
8 runners left on base through the first 4 innings for the Philippines, as Tagium swings and misses at the first pitch outside from Ree. Tagium 0 for 2, reached on an error in his first plate appearance, struck out in his second. Trying to deliver here and finally get some runs on the board for the Philippines. Boy, have they been due, as this pitch gets away from the catcher Neufeld, a wild pitch from Ree. Now both runners advance in scoring position. There's no outs here in the top of the fifth. If you're the Philippines, you have to get at least 1 on the board, right, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to win this game from down 7-0, you're going to need a lot to go your way if you're the Philippines. But you'd love to bring home a couple runs here. Nobody out, 2 in scoring position. You know, play some small ball, move the runners over, bring them home. That's what the issue was in the second inning. Had 2 on with nobody out, 3 straight strikeouts, loaded the bases with nobody out in the third, had 2 strikeouts in that inning as well.
Just feels like they're due for something at some point as Ree misses outside. It's 2-1. And again, just those missed opportunities with runners in scoring position and nobody out. But also the way that these Riptide pitchers have been able to bounce back after putting the Philippines hitters in these kinds of spots. Ree looks to bounce back here with runners at second and third and nobody out. 2-1 slashed back foul. Ree, of course, locally from Irvine, came up in this city, played games at this ballpark, committed to Irvine Valley College,
Played there for a year, tore his UCL for the third time, had to get Tommy John. Transferred as a student into UCSD. Get you the rest of that story after this pitch. It's a check swing on a pitch outside, no go, full count. And now they'll say that he went, so they get the strikeout there. Good bounce back from Ree on the call from Craig Bird at home plate.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting one there. With only 3 umpires here in the CCL, first base umpire Frank Flugrat, runners on second and third, situated out towards second base. But he's still the one who makes the call on the check swing, and he said that Takayama went around and offered at that pitch. And a timely strikeout for Ree, but just got to be so frustrating if you're the Philippines. Haven't been able to put the ball in play when you need to.
Here's Caden Lewis. Pitch misses inside. It was a late call, but a call nonetheless. Craig Bird did not ask for an appeal. Frank Flugrat put the out sign up anyways. You got to go with what your cohorts say in that umpiring crew, and that's what happened there with a strikeout. 1-0 hit out past the glove of Ree. 1 run comes in. Folds throws to first for the second out of the inning, but finally the Philippines bring a run across the board. It's 7-1 here in the top of the 5th.
This game could be a lot closer if the Philippines had done a little more of that, just doing the little things right there. Nice job for Lewis putting the ball in play. Second productive plate appearance of the day for him. He singled back in the second. At least able to get this Philippines baseball group squad on the board.
Dylan Tagium at third, Ajani Reister at the plate. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. He chops the first pitch he sees back foul. So back to that Colin Reese story. Tears his UCL. He's still a student. He goes to UCSD. He needs a place to rehab. He asked the coaches at UCSD if he can do it there. He knew a few other guys on UCSD's team that were in the rehab process. They say yes. So that's how he gets in with UC San Diego, and he's officially a member of that Triton's pitching staff. As he gets Reister to swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Ahead 0-2 in the count with a chance to get out of the inning with just the 1 run allowed.
It's a win-win right there, right? Ree gets the opportunity to rehab in a good athletic environment. UCSD gets to say, hey, if things work out in your process, which for Ree, they certainly have, maybe come pitch for us.
Chopped out a high bouncer towards Ree into his glove. Throw to first in time for the third out. So 1 run comes in for the Philippines. Colin Ree able to get out of the inning. It's 7-1 Orange County. Sam Evans takes us the rest of the way when we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Sam Evans taking over on play-by-play alongside Avi Singh here. The Riptide leading this one 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Nate Baumann out there after finishing up the bottom of the 4th for the Philippines. Thomas Cernius at the plate for Orange County as they try and tack on a couple more runs here. Riptide in cruise control of this one at the moment. Cernius so far today, 1 for 2. Reached on an infield single, scored a run in the 2nd, grounded out in the 3rd. Swings and misses at the first pitch from Baumann, 0-1. Again, Cernius, his first game back from that thumb injury. Just jammed his thumb, and obviously want to be overly cautious with injuries like that. Made sure he was A-OK before coming back fully. 0-1 count. Swung through, 0-2. Cernius basically took a full week off baseball. Came back yesterday and said it was his first time swinging the bat in batting practice. So got an extra day off, and now he's back in the lineup. Looks like Dennis Fitzpatrick's come out on deck to pinch hit. First of some changes for the Riptide. Cernius just fouls that one off, stays alive. Still 0-2. Logan, the bat boy, coming out to tend to that loose baseball. Logan, just 8 years old, one of a couple bat boys for the Riptide, but he's a great kid, super fun with the players, really loves Reed Montgomery. Was clambering all over him yesterday. Big fan of Trajan, who he calls TJ. It's the 0-2 to Cernius, sky-high pop-up. Second baseman Reister's calling for it. He's dropped one already today, but this time he makes the catch. One down here in the bottom of the 5th. Baumann gets his 2nd straight out since entering this game. It's expected Dennis Fitzpatrick pinch hitting. Looks like Bradley Boudreau is going to pinch hit as well behind him. So Brian Evans making 2 changes around the Riptide infield here. The comfortable lead, trying to get some guys, and Fitzpatrick and Boudreau, who haven't quite played as much as they'd like to this season, into the lineup. Fitzpatrick hitting .258 in 10 games so far this summer. He has been aboard in all 10. .378 on base percentage. First pitch, ground ball up the middle. Shortstop Nagashima moves over, throws on the run, and it's offline, gets away. Fitzpatrick takes a turn, but he'll come back towards first. 3rd error of the day for the Philippines. It's been that kind of night for the PBG. So the E6 allows Fitzpatrick to reach during his first plate appearance. Now Bradley Boudreau, who last played on Sunday against this Philippine squad, went 1 for 3, scored a run in the game, coming up to bat here. Both Boudreau and Fitzpatrick have featured primarily at 2nd and 3rd base, and they're pinch hitting for 2nd and 3rd basemen. So presumably we'll see them slot right back in their normal spots as we turn the inning over at the end of this frame, but we'll make sure to let you know. Boudreau fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. So with Fitzpatrick on first, Boudreau at the plate, Baumann on the mound. Baumann's 0-1. Gets a piece of Boudreau. Looks like he's in a little bit of pain. That one got him in a difficult region down near his lower right leg. So he's taking a slow walk towards first, but definitely trying to stay in this game, and he'll reach on the hit by pitch. That'll bring up Hunter Harrington to the plate. Harrington, an old soul, despite being one of the youngest players on this Riptide team. Loves to read on team buses before games. Says he gets a little bit of gruff from the guys sometimes about that, but he doesn't mind it. Keeps him off his phone, avoids doom scrolling, which he said is a major positive. Of course, smart guy, headed to Stanford. I'm sure the reading definitely helps. Been enamored in a little bit of a slump. He's 0 for his last 13 at-bats as he takes ball 1 outside. Doesn't have a base hit since June 14th, so it's been over 2 weeks for Hunter Harrington since he's had a base knock. But with 2 aboard and 1 down here against Nate Bauman, why not right now for Hunter Harrington? He swings through the 1-0, 1-1 count. Harrington had the sacrifice fly back in the 2nd inning, so struck out swinging last time up. Lines the 1-1 into left field. There's Harrington's first base hit in a fortnight. It's going to load the bases for the Riptide as Fitzpatrick's held at third. But great to see Hunter Harrington get going and the bottom of the Riptide order doing their job. So the pinch hitters, Fitzpatrick and Boudreau, each reach. And then Harrington lines one in the left for a single. And the bases are loaded again here for the Riptide. Brock Folds, who's walked all 3 times he's come to the plate, coming up here with the bases juiced and 1 down. So great to see Hunter Harrington get going. So Bauman, after finishing up the 4th inning, that one gets away. It's going to be a wild pitch that's going to score a run. Fitzpatrick jogs home easily. 8-1 Riptide as Harrington and Boudreau each move up 90 feet as well. So no longer bases loaded for Brock Folds. First base is open. He's taken a lot of free passes so far today. Certainly could do another one right here.
Yeah, headset cut out, but I'm back in. I'm sure Brock Folds would rather appreciate hitting with a 7-run lead than with a 6-run lead and having to bring in everybody.
Folds takes the 1-0 high, 2-0 count. More patient at bats for the Riptide shortstop.
That's been the key, right, is good at bats. It's what the Riptide struggled with coming out of the gate against the Waves yesterday. All those swings and misses at the first offerings they were getting, but they were able to put together competitive at bats as the game went on. It's the reason why the Riptide came out of that game with that 3-2 win.
They were being aggressive early in counts against Brandon Bowler, getting some good quality contact, but just not finding grass. And if you're doing that and swinging early, it's a result that can lead Bowler to staying in the game, which he did. 4-pitch walk to Folds. 4th walk of the day for Brock. 3rd time he's done so on 4 pitches. And the bases are loaded again. Now Nate Pone at the plate.
I like what you did there with the rhyming 4th walk for Brock.
Set up right there for me.
But it's just been that kind of game for the Riptide, right? You're getting out-hit 5-4, but somehow you're up 8-1, and it's all these walks, defensive miscues, hit by pitches, just getting runners aboard in any way possible.
That's the 8th walk of the day for the Philippines. They've also hit 2 batters. It's the first pitch in the zone to Nate Pone. 3 errors as well, so just 4 hits, but 13 other ways the Riptide players have reached base. Not a recipe for success for the Philippines. After playing a pretty clean game on Sunday, the Riptide won 6-1. As Pone lines one into right field, past the glove of Reiter and into right field for a knock. Everyone will go station to station as Boudreau comes home to score on the Pone single. It's 9-1 Orange County here in the bottom of the 5th.
If this was Division I baseball or most other collegiate leagues, 2 more runs for the Riptide would put this game to a rest on a mercy rule. Usually it's a 10-run rule, but here in the CCL, you play on until that final out is recorded in the 9th inning. We'll see how much longer this hot streak for the Riptide offense lasts.
Now Alonzo Reyes at the plate. Base is still loaded here. Bauman still in this game. He misses the zone up and away with ball 1. Some action going on in the Philippines bullpen, but just hasn't been a pitcher who's been able to get effective outs with any sort of length for Will Pickett's and this Philippine squad. He has 1 for 2, was hit by a pitch last time up. Also doubled and drove in a run in the 3rd and struck out swinging in the 1st. Was Reyes' first hit as a member of the Riptide, that double into left center field. Hopefully a hit that gets him going here before the difficult road trip tomorrow. Good count for him here. Up 2-0. Bauman's offering is fouled straight back into the netting. 2-1.
And you wonder how different this game would look right now if the Philippines hitters were able to capitalize with all those early opportunities they had. Rodriguez at third in the first inning. Runners in scoring position with no outs in the second inning, and bases loaded with no outs in the third inning. Somehow they came out of those 3 innings without a run on the scoreboard.
Made all the more infuriating by the inability on the pitching side to get outs, as Reyes ropes one into the netting in front of the Philippines dugout down the first base line.
If they had gotten those runners in, this would be a 9-6 ball game right now, or rather 9-7 too if you include that run that they have on the board.
And of course, could be a much higher scoring game. Saw the Philippines play a 13-12 game that they lost against the Arroyo Seco Saints, one of 2 one-run games that they've played in this year. It's the 2-2 to Reyes. Ground ball towards shortstop. Nagashima up with it. Gets the out at second. It's the only one he'll get, though. Just throw a little bit off the line. So Raider had to come off the bag a little bit. A run comes home to score as Harrington comes on the back door on the fielder's choice. So second RBI of the day for Alonzo Reyes. Pone, the middleman, out, but Folds moved up to third. Now runs at the corners. 2 down for Tatum Marsh.
Just feels like everybody's done their job today for the Riptide. Doesn't matter where you're batting in the order 1 through 9. Each and every one of these guys has just stepped up and come to bat. Whether it's a walk, a sac, fly, you name it, been able to do something productively.
Tatum Marsh walked last time up. Also drove in a run with a sac fly earlier. That one misses a little bit high. 1-0. Marsh just hitting 154 in 7 games since joining the Riptide. Saw Hunter Harrington, his Stanford teammate, break out of his slump with a base knock to left earlier this inning. Marsh wants to do the exact same thing. The 1-0 misses inside 2-0. Harrington's been super complimentary about Marsh, talking to him about what he can expect at Stanford. Marsh had that huge freshman year where he was an All-American at Stanford and wants to teach Hunter how he can have the same success from an early age. Good count here, 2-0 in the zone with the fastball 2-1.
I think one of my favorite stories, Tatum Marsh's brother Quinton is also at Stanford, so they're already teammates. Hunter Harrington's brother Alex, twin brother, also committed to play for Stanford. So you have plenty of family ties up in Palo Alto. The Marsh brothers and the Harrington brothers playing together.
2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. It's a perfect golf foursome. Couple of pairs of brothers. Are the Marsh and Harrington brothers outfielders as well? Do you know? Or
I'm not sure.
I don't know either. I don't know because otherwise there's only 3 outfield spots, so they'll have to bite each other for who gets to play. 2-2 to Marsh. Line sharply but foul down the left field line. Tatum Marsh getting ever closer to that base hit that he's looking for. But it eludes him here. So with 3 runs already in here in the bottom of the 5th, Riptide answering back after the Philippines got on the board in the top of the inning. Comfortably up 10-1. So that misses the zone outside 3-2. So Tatum's brother, Quentin, an outfielder. Obviously Googling away, see if Alex Harrington is as well. Oh, he's a shortstop and right-handed pitcher. So it all works out. 3 outfield spots, and Alex can play at shortstop or pitch. 3-2. Reyes at first can get a head start on this one. Line towards left field. Started blooped in the air. It's going to fall in for a base knock for Tatum Marsh, and that's going to be a run. Throw towards third. Reyes in there safely. So Tatum Marsh, after lacing one down the line earlier in the at-bat, just drops a little dart into left field for a base hit. He drives home the 11th run of the night for the Riptide, and Will Pickett's coming back to the mound. See if this is Nate Bauman's night.
2 RBIs on the day now for Tatum Marsh. Great game out there, and indeed Nate Bauman is done. So after he struggled here, he's out of the game. You wonder how many more pitchers the Philippines have brought with them up here to Irvine.
Riptide leading this one 11-1. We'll get the new Philippines pitcher for you when we come back. Rest of this half inning brought to you by Sign Design. Noah Neufeld at the plate. Riptide still have runners at the corners. Marsh on first, Reyes on third. The new man into this game, Richie Barrera, the left-hander from LA Mission Community College. 6.14 ERA in 7 1/3 so far this summer for the Philippines. Neufeld, the 9th batter to come to the plate for the Riptide in this inning. First pitch to him in the strike zone, 0-1. Hunter Harrington, as the 9th man, came to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd, but there was an out on the base path as Travis Curry was caught in a double steal attempt before he could take an at-bat. So perhaps this time the opportunity for all 9 men, or even the order to flip all the way back around again for 10 men to come to the plate. As Neufeld skies one in the air. It's going to get out of play over to the right side. He's behind 0-2.
Well, Barrera pitched yesterday for the Philippines, which just tells you it's been that kind of day when you have to have a guy come out of the bullpen in back-to-back days. It was a good inning of work for him, a scoreless inning. He got a strikeout and then lost to the Oaks.
This is the second time the Riptide have scored 4 runs in an inning today. Also scored 4 in the bottom of the 3rd. Just a complete demolition here. Barrera misses the zone high, 1-2.
And it's just been one of those kinds of games for the Philippines, and going to be a lot closer if they were able to capitalize on those early runners through the first 3 innings. Just wonder what could have been.
So 1-2 count for Neufeld, who's trying out his new number, 27 today. So he lines one into center field. That's going to get down for a base knock. 12-1 Riptide as Reyes comes in to score. And Orange County's going to bat around here in the bottom of the 5th. Cernius, who started this inning off with a pop-up. This inning has gone crazy behind him. He'll get a second chance here against Barrera. Marsh moves up to second on the single from Neufeld.
Well, if you remember, Michael Jordan always wore 23. He had to wear number 12 when his jersey got stolen against the Orlando Magic in an infamous incident. Now he got the legend of Noah Neufeld number 27 instead of his usual 17.
It's Neufeld's first base hit, but he'd already scored 2 runs. Cernius checks his swing, but he offered 0-1. So far today, Cernius has a single and a run back in the 2nd, and a ground out and a pop-up. Going lefty-lefty here on Barrera. Oh, 1. Outside in the dirt, 1-1 count. Seen the Riptide bat around now 3 times, I believe, this summer. Of course, the big 10-run inning against the Conejo Oaks in the first inning a couple Fridays ago. That was definitely the longest frame that we've had so far this summer. 1-1 to Cernius. Takes a fastball high, 2-1 count. Barrera was at LA Mission Community College most recently, but he's uncommitted on his future. Interesting, when you're at a 2-year program, you don't officially enter the transfer portal the same way that the guys who are at 4-year schools like Cernius do. You just have to say that you're done as he waves through the 2-1, 2-2 count. And he's going to find a new place. Doesn't necessarily have to choose a new college if he doesn't want to. Of course, he finished his degree at LA Mission, but if he'd like to continue playing baseball, he'll have to find a 4-year school to call home. So a 2-2 count. Cernius tries to extend the already lengthy inning. He goes around and strikes out instead. So Cernius actually makes 2 of the 3 outs in the inning, but he won't mind too much. The Riptide score 5 times. They lead it 12-1, and they are just pouring it on the Philippines as we're through 5, going to the top of the 6th when we come back. Top of the 6th inning, brought to you by the Russell Legal Group. Hunter Pena at the plate against the new pitcher, Brian Harbor. His brother Andrew pitched for the Riptide well in the first half. Brian now getting the chance here in the second half of the summer. Only made one appearance, went 2/3 of an innings back on Father's Day against the Barons. Gave up 2 runs. His first pitch misses outside, 1-0 count. Harbor missed some time with a blister. He had some blisters on his hand, but apparently the issue point was a blister on his foot that he said really was not an issue in day-to-day life, but it was a real problem when it came to pitching, and just described it as a real nuisance. It's obviously frustrating for a guy like Brian who missed some time. He missed all of his 2026 season rehabbing from Tommy John surgery that he had back in April of 2025. Just wants to pitch, and just a little blister can keep you out for a while, but he's back here now. 2-1 count after finding the zone with an off-speed.
You know, there's sort of an asterisk in his last appearance because it was his first since he came back from that Tommy John surgery, so a little bit of nerves, a little bit of rust. Those 2 runs given up.
Yeah, got to be difficult after such a lengthy time off to be facing live hitters again. Harbor will be hoping he can recapture the form that he showed off in the 2024 summer with the Bend Elks, where he had a 1.48 ERA in 24 1/3 innings. This one's popped up in the air. The catcher Neufeld will give it a quick glance, but it's going to fall into the seats here at the Great Park, and the count goes full to Pena. See how much length Harbor can give the Riptide. Orozco worked 2. Everybody else has just gone a frame. 3-2. Way up and in. Ball 4. Pena draws the leadoff walk. 4th time today that the first man for the Philippines has found their way aboard. But with this game, Riptide up 12-1. Hasn't quite been as crucial as you might otherwise think.
On Harbor's last appearance, he allowed the leadoff man to reach. That time it was on a single. This time it's on a walk.
Kai Nagashima, who's making his first appearance with the Philippines, like we touched on earlier in the broadcast, played with the Academy Barons for 5 games earlier this summer. Nothing in 1 count here to Nagashima, who's 0 for 2 today. Struck out swinging against Orozco in the 2nd, and in the 4th, grounded out to shortstop against Julian Hines. 0-1 from Harbor, misses down and away, 1-1 count. Pena on first, second time that he's reached, had an infield single. That's the 1-1, misses down and away, 2-1 count. So a nice day for Hector Pena, even of his Philippines squad down by 11 runs. Two-one, misses down and away, 3-1 count. Harbor did not record an out. He pitched in a couple games for the University of San Diego in 2025 before his Tommy John injury, but he walked 3 batters and hit another, allowed a couple of runs. So that skips in the dirt for ball 4. The runner Pena was going, but it won't matter. So that's a walk for Nagashima. Back-to-back walks from the 8-9 men in this Philippines lineup, and now it flips over. Noah Rodriguez coming to the plate.
So just like in his last outing, Harbor allows the first 2 batters he sees to reach without recording an out. Back to Hector Pena, though. It's really been a great day for him and a much-needed one. It's his first game since all the way back on June 24th against Santa Barbara. So he's put back in the lineup for this Philippines squad, and he's made the most of it.
Should touch that. Bradley Boudreau's over at third. It's a swing and a miss, makes it 0-1. Dennis Fitzpatrick at second. They both pinch hit way back at the start of the 5-run bottom of the 5th inning for the Riptide. Good 9 batters ago for Fitzpatrick, who will be leading off the bottom of the 6th, but they're out there defensively. As the 0-1 misses down and away.
Dennis Fitzpatrick getting some new opportunities, too. He's no longer with Pacific where he was last season, so has some more to play for out there as he searches for a new home.
1-1 count. Catches the top corner of the zone, 1-2. First time that Harbor's found his way ahead of a hitter. He gets 2 strikes and put away Rodriguez for his first out. Noah's reached all 3 times he's come to the plate, 2 singles and a walk. But he's been left aboard all 3 times. Story of the night for the Philippines. 1-2. Way outside, skips in the dirt and away from Neufeld. Both runners able to move up 90 feet. And now Nagashima and Pena both in scoring position here. Some control issues for Brian Harbor continue to rear their head.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw in his first outing. He was able to pull it together and get 2 outs before he was taken out of the ball game his last time out. There's already somebody warming up in the Riptide bullpen, so we'll see how long that leash is on Harbor.
The 2-2 misses inside. Real danger of walking a third straight hitter since entering this game and loading the bases. Definitely not what Brian Harbor was hoping for. Just his second appearance of the summer. Tough to pitch after lengthy time off, dealing with the blister. Ground ball towards shortstop. Folds will let it get through him and into left field for a base hit. It's going to be a really tough play for Brock Folds, who's made a couple of great ones. Not able to make that one as Pena comes in to score on Rodriguez's single. Nagashima had to hold up to make sure Folds didn't glove that grounder, so he only goes to third. Brian Evans is going to come to the mound, try and settle down Harbor, who's looked very shaky since entering this game.
We talked about the day that Hector Pena's had. How about Noah Rodriguez? 3 for 3 with a trio of singles, walked in his other plate appearances as well. A guy that's come up big today for the Philippines. He's reached in all 4 plate appearances, and he gets their second run of the game on the board.
Yeah, that one just through the 5.5 hole. Folds recognized that he was going to have to hurry if he wanted any chance of getting Rodriguez. And just everything got moving a little bit too quickly for the Riptide shortstop.
It's just really been a rough go of things in these first 2 outings for Brian Harbor. Can you think about the rust that he might have out there on the mound coming back from Tommy John surgery? You miss a whole week because of that blister, so all that time off again, maybe starting to catch up to him as he exits this ball game.
Yeah, it was a long discussion on the mound, but Harbor's going to leave this game. So new pitcher into the ball game for the Riptide. We'll have that for you when we come back. It's 12-2 Orange County. Philippines threaten to get a couple of runs closer in this one here in the top of the 6th. Sam Petrocelli into the ball game. He'll face off against Braden Solis here. Runners at the corners, nobody down for the Philippines after a tough outing for Brian Harbour, who did not retire any of the 3 men he faced. He's already been charged at least 1 run, a couple more on the base pass, as Petrocelli will try and bail him out. It was a rough one last time for Sammy on the mound. He entered the game with a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th against the Academy Barons. Got tagged for 3 runs. His first offering finds the bottom of the zone 0-1. Gave up 2 hits, walked 1. Left the game with a 4-2 ball game and 2 runners on base. But both those runners came around to score, and Petrocelli's first real bad outing with the Riptide. Answers back with a couple of strikes here to Solis. He's ahead 0-2.
Well, it's been the kind of inning the Philippines should have had in those front 3. All those opportunities with no outs and runners in scoring position. They finally get a run from it here. But again, you just wonder what could have been.
0-2, strike 3 called. First K of the night for Petrocelli, 8th for the Riptide, and it's the first out of the 6th. Good time for it. So that'll bring up Austin Bash.
Petrocelli on cleanup duty here with no outs and runners on the corners. So far able to make the most of it with the strikeout. Still have to get 2 more outs here without letting that runner come in 90 feet.
Bash so far today has 2 hits. Singled to left last time up and scored the first run of the day for the Philippines. Also an infield single on a bunt that the first baseman Alonzo Reyes had a little bit of trouble with. Goes after this one, scorched to center. Harrington takes 2 steps back and makes the catch. Should be deep enough that Nagashima is able to score easily on the sacrifice fly. And the Philippines cut into the lead. It's 12-3, but now 2 outs as Dylan Tagiam comes to the plate.
Yeah, it would have been a hit if it wasn't popped up so high in the air, all that speed coming off the bat, but because of that drifting ball, it's an out. Good news is it's a sacrifice fly. They're able to bring in another run. Even with that deficit, still some hope to try and chip back. There's plenty of baseball left to go.
Tagiam takes a ball in the dirt 1-0 with the kind of game that we've had so far. You really can't rule anything out. Though, a 11-run comeback from the team that is pretty much the least potent offense in the CCL does seem unlikely. Fouled straight back to the screen, 1-1. Tagiam so far today is 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch. Last time up, it's the only time he reached base, was the hitter on the crazy play with the interference call in the 3rd inning. It's been Tagiam's day so far. Takes a strike at the top of the zone, 1-2. It's Dylan Tagiam's 2nd straight summer with the Philippines, and while it's been a slow start to this one, hitting under 100, he hit .369 in 22 games last summer here in the CCL. So, see if Tagiam can get going for this squad. It's the 1-2, just slapped foul, out of play and out of the stadium over to the right side. Petrocelli dealt with thoracic outlet syndrome during his season with the Duke Blue Devils, limited to just 5 1/3 innings across 3 games. Scary stuff. Steven Strasburg was dealing with it. Made his fingers go numb. So it's chopped foul by Tagiam, still 1-2. Basically, your shoulder compresses down on nerves in your arm, and that creates numbness and tingling, and just obviously need to have good control and feel in your fingers if you're going to throw baseballs with spin and different grips. So it can be really scary stuff, but Petrocelli recovering from it well here. 1-2. Check swing. Did not offer. So Tagiam stays alive. His first base umpire, Frank Flugrat, says he was able to hold up. And it's a 2-2 count. Rodriguez still on first after his RBI single. I made it 12-2 before Austin Bash's sac fly to center just a couple of minutes ago made it 12-3. Petrocelli bounces one in the dirt, blocked by Neufeld, but it's a 3-2 count, and Rodriguez will be able to get a jump on this pitch.
You have to have some nerves of steel to be a pitcher. It can be scary with all those different kinds of injuries you can get out on the mound. All that force on your body. Think about UCL injuries and the outlet syndrome that Petrocelli had.
Petrocelli gets Dagiam looking to end the inning. Philippines scored twice after Brian Harbor's struggles, but Petrocelli able to put out the fires. Riptide still lead this one 12-3, going to the bottom of the 6th. The California Collegiate League's biggest event of the summer is coming to Reno, Nevada on Saturday, July 4th. The 2026 CCL All-Star Game will bring together the league's top players and future professional prospects at Greater Nevada Field, home of the Reno Aces. Following the game, fans will enjoy a spectacular fireworks show as part of the America 250 celebration. To purchase tickets and learn more, visit calsummerball.com. Bottom of the 6th inning here in Irvine, Dennis Fitzpatrick recently entered the transfer portal up at the plate, be followed by Boudreau and Harrington. Richie Barrera out there for another inning, concluded the 5th, just got the final out against Thomas Cernius. First pitch to Fitzpatrick, a little bit high, 1-0.
It's been a long game. 2 hours and 40 minutes in. We're only in the 6th inning.
This is about how long the game yesterday took to play 8.5 innings. We played 5.5 so far tonight. 1-0. Fouled into the screen behind home, 1-1 count. Of course, this one a little bit higher scoring. We saw 5 combined runs. Only featured 3 innings where a team scored last night. Riptide have already scored in 4 different of their 5 half innings so far.
It's been so long because of how potent the Riptide offense has been. Batted around in the last inning, nearly did so in the 3rd.
Fitzpatrick's up 2-1 in the count. And again, Riptide with 5 more runs than they have hit so far. It's just been a case where the Philippines haven't been able to find the strike zone with any sort of consistency. 3 errors on the board as well for the PBG. It's not been a night that they'll want to remember. Fitzpatrick pops it up to the right side. The first baseman, Tagiyam, in foul territory, cannot make the catch. Falls in, foul. So Fitzpatrick will stay alive. And just more moments that this team will want to forget.
And I think that about sums up how it's been so far tonight. And if you're a fan looking at the score, you're probably scratching your head, right? Riptide only out hitting the Philippines by 1. 3 errors from the Philippines to 2 for the Riptide, but when you look at the scoreboard, it's 12-3.
It has been a weird one tonight.
We had that interference call earlier, whatever that was.
Fitzpatrick swings through the 2-2. So misplay by Tagiyam does not prove costly. Barrera gets his 2nd K. First out of the inning, that'll bring up Bradley Boudreau.
It's good to see Boudreaux out there. Of course, Fitzpatrick, who just struck out, also a pinch hitter in the last inning. So you wonder on the score where it is, how many more guys will come off of Brian Evans' bench and get a chance to play tonight?
A lot of guys who aren't in the lineup already, guys who normally play for the Riptide, are getting the off day today. So interesting to see how much Brian Evans really does empty his bench. It's the first pitch to Boudreaux, inside for ball one. You know, a guy like Trajan Rogowski or Jarrett Sable, you know, maybe not someone who necessarily needs to get these at-bats late in the game. Feel pretty confident that they are going to be in the lineup tomorrow up at Conejo, which will be a really tough test. So want to keep them fresh for that game. 1-0. Boudreaux waves. 1-1.
I certainly think you'll save your All-Stars for that game tomorrow up in Ventura. Obviously, both teams have something to play for, trying to fight for that number one seed over these next 3 weeks. And with the thrashing that the Conejo Oaks got today from Santa Barbara, they'll have something to play for tomorrow.
Well, that's been a weird series between these two ball clubs. This 1-2 count to Boudreaux as he swings through another one. The series is tied 2-2. Home teams won each of the first 4 games. 2 games left between the Riptide and the Oaks, both up in Ventura. The Riptide have blown them out at home 8-2 and 12-2. On the road in Ventura, one close game, a 7-4 one, but a game that Conejo led the entire way through. They led 5-1 at one point in that game early before the Riptide battled back. Boudreaux strikes out. 3 straight Ks for Barrera. First Philippines pitcher who's been able to have a lot of success. They're up to 6 Ks on the night as Harrington comes to the plate. But then the other game up against the Conejo Oaks, a blowout win. Conejo won 13-2 in that game. So while the series has been very competitive, the games haven't necessarily been. And the Oaks have really struggled on the road this year, but they've been great at home. This is a lengthy homestand that they're playing right now. So it'll be a tough game for the Riptide to try and win before they have a couple of off days. Hunter Harrington pushes one foul. Nothing in 1 count. Orange County will be completely off on Friday, the 3rd. And then on Saturday, the 4th of July, a couple of Riptide players playing in that CCL All-Star game. The rest of the team will have it off before the Philippines come back here to the Great Park on Sunday to round out the week at 5:30 p.m. 0-1 to Harrington, pushed into right field. Right fielder Lewis able to make the catch. And for the first time today, 1-2-3 inning for the Philippines. We are through 6. Riptide still lead at 12-3. New pitcher into the ball game for the Riptide. Left-hander Noah DeBella. He'll face off against Micah Tagiam to begin the 7th inning. Orange County in cruise control. They're up 12-3. DeBella had an outing that he'll want to forget last time. Gave up 5 hits and 3 runs in an inning against the Oaks on Saturday. Just trying to flush it here. So he misses the zone outside, 1-0 count. I will say, though, Noah DeBella had some bad luck in that game. He had a grounder that bounced off the mound and over the head of the second baseman Travis Curry for a base hit. It's a 2-0 count as he misses the zone high. Had some soft contact that found grass. So, if you're Noah DeBella, it's a game that it'd be easy to be frustrated by, but tons of credit to the young man who was an incoming freshman at UCSB. He flushed it, was smiling as he walked back towards the team bus, and hey, it happens. This is a learning experience. That's what I came to this team for, is to grow, become a better baseball player, and be ready to go into UCSB and contend for a spot immediately.
I have to say, this is my first time watching Noah DeBella pitch. He throws exactly like Dontrell Willis. He's spot on.
He pitched on Father's Day against the Barons. That was his first game.
Did he?
Yeah, he pitched a scoreless 1-2-3 inning. You know what? I'll dig through my scoreboard. Let's see if we can.
This is my second time, but somehow I can't remember the first. Memory of a broadcaster here, short term. I believe he did throw on Father's Day. It's my second time watching him. This is the first time I noticed that he throws exactly like Dontrell Willis.
I haven't played enough MLB The Show to recognize Dontrell Willis's delivery.
It's not even from MLB The Show, man. It's just one of the most recognizable deliveries in baseball, the D train.
I'm a little too young for the D train, to be honest.
So am I, but like baseball history, Sam.
2-2, up and away, 3-2 count. Yeah, as a Padres fan, you really have to try and pretend that most of baseball history doesn't exist if you want to be a happy camper. So I just try and pretend that nothing happened before 2020, and I end up in a pretty good spot.
We had 2 World Series appearances before then.
Yeah, but you won 1 combined game.
Speaking of World Series, Dontrell Willis helped the Florida Marlins win the World Series back in 2004 against the Yankees.
Oh, I know this one, 03.
03, rather, my bad. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they won 97-03. My favorite fact is that the Marlins have still never won a division title, but they have won the World Series twice.
Who was 04 was the Red Sox. What am I doing?
They came back from down 3-0.
One of the greatest World Series wins in history.
Ball 4 to Tagiam. So a leadoff walk for him. Now Caden Lewis at the plate here for the Philippines.
I think 03, you think about the Marlins, as you said, not division winners. They were a wild card team. And all the way to the NLCS against the Chicago Cubs.
That's right.
That was the series with the Steve Bartman incident.
We covered that in my journalism ethics class at Syracuse. So my teacher, my professor, I should say, shout out to Meg Craig, who is definitely not listening because she is not a huge sports fan. She is from Chicago, was based out of Chicago. And so it was a conversation about whether you have to expose people's private identity. When do they become public figures versus private ones? As that one gets away from the catcher, Neufeld, going to allow Tagiam to move up on the wild pitch.
We've seen a few of those that have clipped off the glove of Neufeld and gone away from him.
Yeah, there has been some struggles for the Riptide pitchers finding the zone. But you know what? You're up 9 runs. We can forgive some miscues. But there's a conversation about whether or not that private figures are entitled to more protections than public ones. Did Steve Bartman deserve to have his name published in the paper? And there was a Chicago paper that decided to, and that's why you and I know his name 23 years on, and he's a pariah in the city of Chicago. So the 1-2 misses a little bit down, 2-2 count.
And you know what? That decision to publish his identity landed him an FBI witness protection for years.
That's why the argument to not publish. I don't know, where do you fall as a journalism major? Should they have published the man's name?
I think it was too big of a story not to ignore as DeBella gets the strikeout there on the beer batter, but I don't know, it's a tough call because it's a public event. Everybody saw it on their television. They know that this guy made that catch. I honestly don't think it was his fault at all. When you think about it, I don't know if that's a catch that Moises Salou could have made out in left field, but like it's a tough call to, out this guy that became the ire of Cubs fans because they end up losing that series.
So a little ethics lesson for you here in a 12-3 ball game in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, take it from 2 journalism majors.
That was one of my favorite classes. That's a 1-1 count now to the swing and a miss to Reister. Pardon me, it's a pinch hitter here at the plate. Wyatt Lamarzna has taken over in the place of a Johnny Reister. Got a little too distracted with our conversation, making us better. And Lamarzna pops it up in the air. Third baseman Boudreau's camped under it. In foul territory, he'll make the catch. So Lamarzna, the pinch hitter, retired. Second out of the inning. Tagiam still on second base. Should be Hector Pena coming to the plate. We'll see if there's another pinch hitter, but there's not. Pena's still in this game.
No surprise he is still in there. He's had himself a great day at the plate.
We saw yesterday with the San Diego Wave, there were a couple of guys who hadn't been retired yet and then got pinch hit for after 3 ABs. So sometimes works out the way it works out.
It felt like they had 20 different changes defensively at the end of that game.
The 0-1 from DeBella, a little bit outside 1-1. Definitely these Philippines uniforms are a little bit more friendly to a broadcaster because the black on dark blue that the Waves wear are a little bit difficult. It's the 0-1 misses inside.
You know who has the best uniform game, though, in the CCL? I have to give it to them, the San Diego Bombers.
They do. They have plenty of options. They got the baby blues. They got the blacks. They got the reds. Swing and a miss there for Pena. Nice pitch there for DeBella, who's 1 strike from getting out of the inning. Pitch misses down in the dirt. Full count now to Hector Pena.
Well, DeBella has impressive stuff on the mound. No surprise he's going to UCSB.
That's popped up foul over towards the parking lot on the right side. So we'll stay on the full count here.
Just looking for a way to get a good hitter out in Pena.
DeBella's an interesting case. He only started one of his 13 games for La Mirada High School as a senior. Was fantastic, a 1.98 ERA. But unusual to see a guy, we'll walk Pena to extend the inning. But unusual to see a guy who's so talented in high school choose to not start. But he said he preferred the bullpen role. He relished it. He recognized that was probably what he was going to have to face as a college freshman, was that he was going to have to not be a starter and come out of the bullpen. So he wanted to get adjusted to it early and trying to keep that adjustment coming here at the Riptide.
I can't believe I forgot that he pitched against the Barons because he was so good in that outing. It's just, it's been such a long night that your brain starts to get foggy. This game feels like it's gone on for ages, honestly.
Well, DeBella was so good. It only took him about 6 pitches for that outing. So maybe you just, you blinked and you missed it.
It's true. It's like a flashpoint in the history of this Riptide 2026 squad.
That's sort of the nature of things in summer ball. You have guys come and go all the time. It was the halfway point in the season. You said goodbye to tons of different pitchers and hitters, and hello to a couple of new arms as well. DeBella, one of them who joined late, not quite here at the halfway point like some of the other arms, like Austin Polinsky, who we saw earlier tonight. DeBella misses the zone, 2-1 count.
But I feel like if you have a pitcher, you'd rather have him throw 6 pitches for 3 outs in every single inning and forget that he pitched in a game than have him stay out there forever and be remembered for a not-so-great performance.
The 2-1 popped up in foul territory. Tough play for Neufeld, but he's able to chase it down and gets the out to end the inning. The Philippines threaten but do not score. Nice play for Neufeld to pick up DeBella. And the Riptide still lead this one 12-3. Time to stretch in Irvine.